Are they handling the quarterback position well? Hell no. Could you give some reasons why?
Well, it seems to me like ever since Kyle Shanahan's got here, he's never really been all in with a quarterback. And here we are in year 7, and it's still like, well, who's your quarterback? Well, we have 2. What do you mean you have 2? Pick one. Go all in with one quarterback at some point. Like, they had no quarterback at first, then they brought in Jimmy Garoppolo, and it seemed like Kyle Shanahan didn't like him immediately. But they held on to him for 5 years. And then they brought in Trey Lance, but they didn't give him a chance. It just seems like they're always Kyle is always kind of riding the fence, waffling back and forth. And if he would just pick a quarterback and say, this is my guy, I think people would be happy. But last year, he acted like he was with Trey, and then he brought back Jimmy. It's like, well, there you go again. You're riding the fence. Like, if you could just pick one, that would be great. Until he does, how can you really say you have a Super Bowl window if you haven't picked a quarterback?
See, Iggy, that's why I would fire Kyle Shanahan. I would.
He's playing this game. Yeah.
I think one thing a head coach needs to do is have a quarterback.
Pick a quarterback.
I mean, it's not like the right guard. I mean, the right guards are important, but not as important as the quarterback. And he doesn't even really have a right guard either. But I would fire him because he can't get a quarterback. I would bring in someone who can get a quarterback.
What's so funny to me about Kyle, this conversation's verging off, but I like it. He's an offensive coach, but he's now in year 7. He hired the general manager. This is his team. He is building a defensive team. He wants to win with defense. He wants to have the best defense in the league, and it's like his offense is the problem. He can't find a quarterback. That's the problem. It's almost like Tony Dungy in Tampa, although Tony was a defensive coach, but couldn't get the quarterback position figured out, had a really good team built. John Lynch was there. Warren Sapp was there. Ultimately, he wasn't the guy to seal the deal, to take him over the top. They fired him, brought in John Gruden, who's not a great coach either, but he won. He figured out the offense. He figured out the quarterback position. He won. Tony Dungy went and inherited Peyton Manning and won over there. But I feel like Kyle's looking like Tony Dungy right now. Tampa Tony.
Tampa Tony. I agree. And I apologize because I know there are a lot of Niner fans watching. I am down on Kyle Shanahan. I am down on him vis-a-vis quarterbacks because, 1, he hasn't gotten one in 7 years. 2, whenever he gets one, he gets them hurt. So I think he's bad. He is a bad quarterback head coach. I know he doesn't coach him. He's got the other guy who does the hands-on coaching, but he's responsible. And I don't like what he does. If I were running the team, and thank God I'm not, I would really probably have replaced him a long time ago.
Yeah, and the guy. Oh, go ahead.
I'm saying, the guy he used to be at New Orleans, Sean Payton, I think he could do a better job with. I mean, he's not coming to the Niners. He would have gotten a quarterback.
Right. And it seems like the handling of the quarterback position this offseason, the plan is Brock's going to be fine. At least that's what Kyle Shanahan says. John Lynch, you ask him, he's like, well, we got to be in the market. You never know. The surgeon says it's individual. Kyle, after the season, he was asked straight up. He said, oh, no, he's going to be ready. He'll be ready. It's 6 months. He'll be fine in 6 months. It's like, man, Kyle, what world are you living on?
No, here's the thing about Kyle that you don't know, but he's told me privately. He's an MD. He's a doctor.
Yeah, he knows.
He went to Yale Medical School, and his field was elbows. No, really. Would I kid you? While everybody thought he was a football coach, he attended. He was in New Haven, and he attended Yale Medical School, and he absolutely majored in elbows. So when he tells you that Brock's going to be okay, Iggy, you can take that to the bank.
Well, that's one of the perks of being a genius is you can just pick up those degrees in your spare time. Yeah. But that's how he's thinking, Dad. It's like, I don't need to think about contingency plans. Brock's going to be fine. Well, you don't know that. And if it doesn't work out that way, you're screwed this year. You have to be thinking bigger. Like the head coach thinks, okay, what are the array of outcomes that could happen this year? And how am I protected in case some of the worst things happen? Offensive coordinator's thinking, I'll have Brock. And if not, I'll have an excuse one way or another. I'm good. That's what he's thinking. And he's thinking that way. I'll have Brock. That's not handling the quarterback position well. You don't know what the hell you're going to have. You don't know when he's coming back, and you don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back. What if he comes back week 1 and he has 60% of the arm that he had last year. What's the plan? All of a sudden, and here's the thing, Kyle, he's like, he soured on Jimmy Garoppolo after about 8 games. He soured on Trey Lance after 4. What if Brock Purdy comes back with less of an arm? Kyle, it's totally in his personality to be like, you know what? I don't like Brock Purdy anymore. We need a new quarterback. And Dredd says, okay, fine, let's get him a new quarterback.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I started this segment saying the key question is, what do they need the quarterback for? Short term, game or two, half, long term, 8 games or so. What do you think? Do they need a quarter? Which do they need? The short term or the long termer?
Well, if I had traded up for Trey Lance, I would have committed to the process of developing him. But they didn't, and they botched it. And what they were thinking was by year 3, which is now for him, he would have 20-something starts under his belt, and he'd be ready to lead a Super Bowl push because a rookie quarterback's never done it. Well, he's got 4 starts, and he's still essentially a rookie, and they can't look themselves in the eye and say, we're Super Bowl contenders with Trey Lance at quarterback. So they botched it. I mean, if they really want to win this year, they have to bring in someone better than Jimmy, better than Trey, better than Brock. And they're messing around. I don't see them doing. They're talking about Baker Mayfield. You kidding me?
So wait a minute. So you're saying, and by the way, if I understand you correctly, I agree with you. They're not looking for a guy to play a half. They're looking for a guy who may have to play 7, 8 games. They're looking for
a guy who can win the Super Bowl. That's the question.
Yeah.
Can you win the Super Bowl with Trey Lance this year? You can't say yes because you botched the first 2 years of his career, and he's still essentially a rookie. Okay, well, can you win a rookie with Baker Mayfield? Fuck no. Okay, well, can you win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers? Okay, well, then why aren't you talking to him?
We'll come back to Aaron Rodgers.
Because Saleh is. Robert Saleh's talking to him today. Can you win a Super Bowl? You got to go through that conversation. Can I win a Super Bowl with X quarterback?
So, Iggy, we got to make it clear. We're agreeing that probably not they don't need a third stringer. They need a potential first stringer.
Yeah.
Right?
And if you can sign that guy, if you can draft that guy, fine. But you have to feel like he's really special and you could go somewhere with him now.